everyone, it's Emma here, and today I'll be reading chapters 3 and 4 of A Haunting at Richelieu High, A Penny Dreadful Investigation by Bob Berry. Chapter 3, Neighbors. When the school bus dropped me and Air off at the corner of Whitney Street and Battle Avenue, I was exhausted. We live a block away from each other. He seemed to want to hang and talk, but after an exhausting first day, I just wanted to get home and chill. The first day of school always gives me a headache. Plus, the September heat was a killer. I wish someone would explain to me why September feels hotter than August. I'm totally mystified. It was like the way a Sunday in the summer can feel like an eternity, while a Sunday during the school year can be over in a blink of an eye. Just plain weird. I said goodbye to Air and headed up Battle Avenue and dragged my backpack and myself up to my front porch to our small wood-frame house and checked the mailbox. Nothing but flyers and ads, which I left for Dad to bring home when he came home. No point in overtaxing myself. "Mom, I'm home!" I yelled out as soon as I came in the door. In the kitchen, Casey. So how was your first day of ninth grade? I rolled my eyes. Mom was making a big deal out of ninth grade as if it was my first day of college or something. "'Kay." Mom came into the kitchen, wiping her hands in a dish towel. "Come on, Katerina." I hate it when she calls me that. It had to be more than just K. My mom's imitation of my voice was way too close, and it was a little aggravating. "Come on, Mom. It was school. It was okay. I got the classes I wanted, and Air's in most of them." Mom placed a finger thoughtfully on her chin and looked up at some spot on the ceiling. "Well, I guess that's all right as long as Alonzo isn't too much of a distraction." I blew out a long sigh, exasperated. "Mom, Air and I have been in practically the same class since grade school. He hasn't been a distraction yet." "You're both teenagers now, and things change so much at your age." I cringed a little, knowing that she was getting ready to give me one of her famous lectures about the challenges of adolescence. I decided to try a diversionary tactic. "We have a really interesting new girl in school. I think she's Greek or something." "That's nice. Now, I was about to say, her cell phone exploded today." "Exploded? I didn't think that was possible." "Really, Mom, her cell phone exploded right in the cafeteria. There was a big shower of sparks. The phone flew right out of her hand and hit Brett Henry right in the back. Boy, was he mad. You should have seen him." "Casey." "Yes, Mom?" "I know what you're doing." She folded her arms across her chest. "I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm tired, and I'm really not in the mood for a lecture." She put her hand up to my cheek. "Okay, sweetie, I'll let you off this time, but please don't let Air distract you. Friends are good, and you'll have plenty, but remember—" "I know," I said. "My education is the most important thing." "Exactly." I chilled for a while, had a snack, and listened to my little dweeb brother, James, go on about his adventures in 4th grade. I have a very low tolerance for bigger jokes and milk shooting out of people's noses, so while my mother was enthralled, I quickly slipped out of the kitchen and up the stairs to my room. My room wasn't huge, but it was mine, and I loved it. I dropped my backpack down near the closet and threw myself onto my bed. After dinner, Air called me to ask me about the math homework. Imagine, homework on the first day! Well, that was Mr. Gagliardo. We called him the Gag, because of the huge amounts of homework he gave would make your stomach turn. This year he wasn't wasting any time. Math was my worst subject, and I had a bad feeling about his class. Air was feeling the heat too. We tried to work out some of the math problems over the phone, and decided that it might be best to wait till tomorrow. "Hey," I said, "before you hang up, I forgot to mention that I saw Penelope get picked up today." "Yeah?" "Yeah, and you should have seen the car. Big black Benz. It looked like an old one too, like a classic or something. I couldn't see who was driving it, but she must have been waiting from the lobby, because the second it pulled up she was in the car and it drove away." Of course, all the importance of these subtle observations were lost on Air. There was just dead silence for a minute, and then he said that he had to go feed his iguana, Don. That was a big joke to Air, but I never really got it. I hung up the phone and fell back onto my bed. It was about 7 o'clock, but still light outside, so I thought I'd give my dog Frisky a walk. We lived on Battle Avenue. I never understood why it was called Battle Avenue until I was old enough to go out on my own, and I discovered that a sweet little playground and a monument dedicated to the battle that was fought here during the Revolutionary War. Duh. So hence the name Battle Avenue. The neighborhood was called Battle Hill, and a lot of the local streets had patriotic names like Independence, Liberty, and Concord. The section of Battle Hill I lived on was a short walk from downtown White Plains. Most of the houses here were pretty grand in their day. Some had big columns like that of Greek or Roman temples and terraced yards that led down to the street. Others were like Spanish haciendas with wrought iron gates, stucco walls, and roofs overlapping terracotta tiles. The grandest and weirdest of these houses was at the corner of Whitney Street and Battle Avenue. It was a huge monstrosity, 3 levels in the red terracotta tiles, and the thick walls were made of peach-colored stucco. Everything about the house made it look like a big fortress rather than a home. Whoever built the place really liked their privacy. The house had one of the biggest yards in the neighborhood, enclosed by an ornate iron fence. About every 12 feet or so, the fence was anchored by tall red brick pillars. The front gate of the house was actually on Whitney. It was decorated with swirls and leaf shapes, all cleverly made in wrought iron. A wide flagstone walk connected the front gate to the main entrance of the house, which was a huge oak door protected by a deep portico guarded by 4 huge Corinthian columns. I remember that from art history. Over the ground level porch was a second smaller porch, also nestled behind the same 4 big columns. The weirdest feature was a small porch that rested on top of the 4 columns and went back into the main roof in the form of a dormer. The small third-floor porch was reaped on all corners of the red-tiled roof. The whole effect was odd. To add to the mystery, it had been abandoned for years. I always liked to walk past and imagine what it must be like inside. As I came down the sidewalk, I crossed Whitney Street to take Frisket into a small park. This put me directly across the driveway of the big house. The ornate gate was closed as usual, but now there was a car there. My jaw dropped as I moved in for a better look. The car was the same car that had picked up Penelope Dredalus at school. "Come on, Frisket," I said. "We've really got to get home and call air. He won't believe this." Frisket gave me one sad, soulful look, then bounded alongside me up Battle Avenue. And this is the picture. It says, everything about the house made it look more like a fortress than a home. And this is the house on Battle Avenue where Casey discovered that Penny now lives.